you might not be on Twitter, but Kane and I are tinfoil hat discussing some reasons why the timing of this rebranding of Twitter has taken place. So Elon Musk renamed Twitter X, right? Part of me is actually, I like the rebranding because I think Twitter is, people are too focused on it. I think the influence is exaggerated, and I'm completely here for the disruption. Now, Linda Yaccarino, who is the CEO of Twitter, had these really weird, it's like these tweets where she was explaining the rebranding. She said, quote, X is the future state of unlimited interactivity, centered in audio, video, messaging, payments, and banking, creating a global marketplace for ideas, goods, services, and opportunities powered by AI. X will connect us in all the ways we were just beginning to imagine. So X is the social media aspect of it, because Musk wants to create an everything app, a very powerful everything app, one app that rules them all. Wow, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? I think I've seen some movies about this that involve some hobbits. Actually, you can't say hobbit because Peter Dinklage just ruined all of their professional opportunities. So the X Everything app, she says that people have pushed Twitter to dream bigger. She said that we're seeing X take shape over the past 8 months through rapid relaunches. She said there's no limit to the transformation. I just want to come back. I don't mean to sound like Charlie Day, but give me a minute. I just want to come back to the payments and banking part, because she says that Twitter made a massive change. Now X is going further, transforming the global town square. So she describes it as unlimited interactivity, centered in audio, video, messaging, payments, banking, which will create a global marketplace for ideas, goods, services, and opportunities, powered by AI. Okay, I am immediately, no. Why does it, payments and banking? Does that give anybody else pause? I mean, in China, if you engage in wrong speak, you literally can't even get aboard a train. You literally cannot get into a train, onto a taxi, rent a bike. You can't do anything. You are excommunicado. And they know. Is that, it seems like it's kind of similar in format. Now you can say, well, it won't be used like that here. Oh, you really have that much faith in everybody? Because I don't. I don't know. Does that make you feel weird? Am I overthinking this? Because I'm immediately like that and then powered by AI. What?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing there.
Especially when Democrats could still be the people who create the regulation for AI if we don't win 2024. Because losing 2024 means a lot more than what you think it means. There's a lot of stuff that will irrevocably change. It's the last exit on the highway. That's why I don't want to gamble it on ego. But is that, like, I'm not being too Chicken Little, right? I just think that there's a legitimate reason to be suspicious of this. How does that work even? I just don't want it tied to, and what's a global town square? What is that? What is a global town square? I don't even like the town square that we have. I don't want more people in there. What does that mean? I don't know. I like the disruption of Twitter, but I don't know. Kane was saying that the Fed Now payment, so you think that the timing is because of Fed Now is what you were suggesting?
I think so. I think that they're testing everything now, and they're going to be issuing some sort of payment system exclusively on the app. I mean, that's what X.com, I think, in the beginning was all about. So I'm not surprised to see it happen right after the Fed Now thing started Friday.
But that would suggest that he's involved in it.
Well, he's taking advantage of it. I don't know
taking
how
advantage of it. Whether or not he's involved in
I'm
the
not sure
cabal
about
is
the
another.
But once they issue the CBDCs, they're going to control they can control every aspect of how your money is spent and distributed.
I don't like that. I mean, I saw a story about how Nigel Farage, didn't he just get, hang on, let me pull this up. He's over in UK. He was part of the, oh goodness, what is it? The, one of the parties over there. For super conservative. He's like a hyper conservative over there. He ended up getting 3 days ago, BBC, he said he got an apology from the banking boss because he ended up having one of his accounts closed. He had his bank account closed UKIP is the party, because the bank did not agree with his political views. And so the boss of the NatWest group, which runs that bank, actually came out with an apology. And they said that, as well as apologizing to Mr. Farage, they were commissioning a full review of their bank processes, et cetera, et cetera. It's a private bank owned by NatWest Group. She was like, I believe freedom of expression, et cetera, et cetera. But he was told, and that's what happened. He said that his account was closed, and there were comments made about him in a document on his suitability as a bank customer. So it's not unrealistic to think, now they're apologizing that, but the damage was already done. They closed his account. And then everything else has to be, you have to work to restore things. So what assurances do we have that wouldn't happen here? I mean, that's the problem. I don't like the consolidation of things like this because it doesn't, there's no competition for people. And you can say, well, so other people can start a platform. It is incredibly difficult, though. And we saw that, previously, before Twitter was sold, the challenges, there's all these, what was the app? Was it Parler? They ended up getting dropped by the Amazon Web Services, and they were dropped by, a couple of things, and they had their stuff all jacked with. And it just was kind of galling. People who don't realize the amount of effort that it takes to launch something like this, and then the politics that you have to play with all the other entities that have to provide third-party services, it's a very big deal. It's very, very difficult. I don't like the consolidation of stuff like this. I don't think that social media should have any association with banking or finances. It has nothing to do with it. Are humans so damn lazy that we need to go one place for everything? I mean, we're turning into those giant, morbidly obese people that sit in floating loungers in the ship in Wall-E. We're turning into that. I don't like this kind of stuff. I like things broken up and separate. I like keeping all that stuff separate. To me, I just get bad vibes with this. And it's no wonder. I mean, look at all of the ways that we have seen institutions weaponized to abuse individuals who engage in wrong think. They're on the wrong side ideologically. They have the wrong letter after their name politically. Just look at how these institutions have been weaponized to abuse people over the past just decade. I mean, it goes back longer than that, but particularly hyper-radicalized over the past decade. And as Kane said, now imagine if AI gets control after the CBDCs get implemented. AI. So in the election in 2024, if Democrats end up controlling everything still, they're going to be the ones that write the laws on AI, governing AI. Do you trust that? That's why I'm like, I don't care. People get into the primary. I'm going to say it. This has nothing to do with liking a particular candidate or not. Looking at it on its face. And I need everyone to stop the tribalism for a second. Stop the tribalism for a hot second. Because that's not who we are. Like, we literally fought a war to not have, monarchs and all this stuff, right? Like, we just celebrated that. We just, fireworks and all this stuff, just earlier this month. One of the things you have to realize, and I don't care how much you like Trump or not, and I'm not going to tell you not to vote for him or to vote for him, but one of the things you have to realize is you are immediately forfeiting 8 years. That's if he wins, the general. You only get 4. Think about that. Democrats can wait. That's 8 years that you're kissing goodbye for 4. That is one of the biggest things to me. That's just reality. You're forfeiting 8 years. You only get 4. That's it. And we didn't get a wall in the last 4 years. So I'm just saying. That's one thing to think about. Because I'm thinking about this in the context of Democrats and regulation and AI. And the more I read about AI and the more I read, Democrats are now talking more and more about how they would like to regulate and what laws they would like to write. That's kind of terrifying. And I'm going to tell you, don't think that people like Musk and others are going to be able to be powerful enough to stop them or to rewrite that. They're just not. I mean, they're out of spite. And this is one thing that people don't realize about the left. They will do something out of spite. There are very few people, because it's so hyper tribal, very few people will do things for the good of the nation anymore. Honestly, I don't really believe that anybody's acting for the good of the nation. I think there maybe is a handful of people. I really do believe that. I believe that most people are acting in their own best interest, and in their own best interest are served by having a healthy nation, and that's kind of a secondary concern. It's true.